Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Was this going on part three? Part three. I lose track.
hmm
We're so bad at taking regular breaks now. Have you
We
noticed?
really
Have
are.
you noticed it just has been getting worse and worse? We're like,
Well, it
no,
just
we're
keeps on going
playing,
forever.
forever.
We get so involved in the game that it's like, yeah, and then this
and then
happened.
some stuff. No, what's the next thing? Shut up. Okay, cool. So, Andrew, you had a
Yes, I have
request.
a request
Okay.
because I've got this move
Yeah.
called Step into the Flow,
Word.
Mm.
where we like ritually douse people in the water and it cures them.
Yep.
Okay.
Um, and there's generally a bunch of ritual around people like staying here and how they need to like work and like do labor and all this kind of stuff. So I'd love to have a scene involving that like element of ritual.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe that one biker like actually like
No,
says,
I don't
Or
think
like
we're. I
someone
don't.
comes up and wants to be
I would say I
cured.
don't think we're ready to get quite to there yet, but I'd love to have a scene where you're doing this for someone who's in the
Yeah.
community already. Maybe someone who's hurt while they were working, or like let's see the magic of the well in play. And Hooch is definitely there, like watching, hopefully, right?
Okay, well then in that case
I
it's
have such a good plan for what I'm gonna do if that happens. Okay.
Yeah,
It's
I want
such
to
a
I
good
want to work up to the thing with Hooch, but I definitely think that it's like yeah. So let's talk about this. So this ritual, what kind of conditions? Like, what do you think? What are you curing, Tynan?
for wind.
Well, for anybody, like because I imagine like it's somebody in the community that's like been afflicted in some way. I just want to know what it is that you're fixing, and then we can attach an NPC to that condition.
Oh, well, I wanted it to be wind, but
Okay,
It can
we can
be.
talk about that.
because I have identified him as being sick.
That's right. Okay, so have the two of you talked about this before, or are you just like, come here, you need to take a swim?
Well, like I kind of described that one moment where I was like, "You're in the right place. Like I'm so glad you came
Right,
here.
because you two haven't had a like since Wind has been around, you haven't had the like a moment
We haven't
together.
had our chance to do it." So,
Okay.
so at some point, I would just like find Wind wherever he was in the compound and just be like, "Come with me. It's time."
Okay. So do you where is this conversation taking place? Do we jump right to the like healing ritual or are you like resistant at all?
Um.
Keeping in mind that you're in my pocket too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They're paying for you to like live essentially.
and you haven't been doing your work. You said.
Yeah. No. Why would I? Yeah. I think I'm probably already fairly close by to the center. I stick around there, so it's not far, and I'm not resistant because I think your particular turn of phrase "it's time" like gets a genuine smile from me. So I'm not I'm happy to come along and see whatever it is that you're gonna do.
Yeah, and I like clasp one of your hands in mine, and I'm very like very warm, very friendly. Like this is a like this very nice thing that's happening between us. And I like pull you over, and it's kind of like it's a bit later at night. It's like dusk right now, and so it's in this. So there's the well, and then there's like a like paved area, like paved with stones. There's like
Do
this
people gather
circular,
for
like,
this?
I'm sorry.
Would people gather for something like this?
Yeah, I think so. Like people kind of
Do
congregate.
you have Hooch watching from the crowd?
Yeah, like I don't know, like I think some of your more superstitious gang members definitely are like, hey, a thing's happening, let's go check it out. I imagine this is later, like they've kind of settled in. It's not like it's probably within a day, but yeah, they've settled in and there's some gangsters there, and yeah, Hooch is definitely among them. How much of a role does Nipperkin play in this situation?
Yeah, Nibberkin is definitely involved. Like his job is more on the like ritual side of things.
Okay.
So similar, like him and Tynant are more like peers in that way, and that they both have like these big kind of spiritual responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think he's this like very willowy and like fastidious, stuttering man.
Okay.
Um, who like really he's like very nice and very like interested in people. But it's like always like slightly awkward talking to him because he does have this like pronounced like stutter, and he's like this really well-intentioned, but really like he's like the Reverend in Deadwood. First one.
Oh yeah. God, I love that character.
He's like that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like just like a little bit too intense, and like you have to listen to him talk for a long time because he's like struggling to get through his words and stuff. Yeah. So he has this kind of like off-putting for people when they don't know him, certainly.
Yeah.
And so he's involved in like helping me out. And yeah, there's this like paved with stone kind of little like mini plaza with like some buildings around it. This is like the heart of the compound, with the well in the middle. And there's a spot kind of set aside where there's this like big bucket hanging, and we can like dump it on people.
Yeah.
And so some folks, while this is happening, are like drawing more water from the well to like refill the bucket, because sometimes we need to douse people multiple times.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about the like cultural trappings of this ritual, because I don't imagine it was just conjured whole cloth out of nothing. Like, you know, how much of this is like a baptism? How much, like, what are the, like, is there incense being burned? Are people chanting? Like, what's the actual process like?
I think we're burning.
Is it celebratory or solemn?
We're burning, what's that tree? We're burning some kind of fragrant pine or something.
Yeah, or like sage or something.
Sage or whatever. Yeah, like some kind of thing that we've gathered from the woods. And, you know, there's like my box with the bones in it, which I like lay out and kneel in front of, and there's like incense burning because it has little spots in the box where you can pop incense. Mm-hmm. Or well, these little, you know, that we make. And so there's some like invoking of the spirits, and some like chanting. And so like me and Nipperkin are on opposite sides of this spot where there's like a little grate and people get doused. Mm-hmm. I've got my little box laid out, and he probably has some trappings to do with his, as well as some incense. And yeah, so we both like invoke the spirits and like, you know, bless the water or whatever. And then we like both get up and lead Wind to like stand on the grate. And we both like pull this big like pair of chains or whatever that dump the water onto him.
So tell me about this situation. So like, you know, Andrew is kind of positing like this is what happens unless you say or do anything about it, right? But feel free to be like, well, before all that, or like, so what I want to get where Wind is at during this whole thing, right? Like, do you feel sick? Do you feel like you need to be cured? Do you need to be saved? Like, aren't you too cool for this bullshit?
I didn't think there was anything wrong with me. I'm like a mixture of curious and humoring Tynant because I know I owe them. So I think I'm fairly happy to go along with it. And I'm also like really curious to just like see what's going on and stuff. This is outside of the realms of me, but I think something cool might happen, but I have an idea for that. We'll see if it does.
Okay. All right.
I have a question. How soon is this after we had our conversation, Tynan?
This is maybe like, I assume like y'all showed up in the morning and this is the evening.
Okay. All right. I'm just wondering if I'd be there. Probably not, actually.
I'm there.
I have gang things to take care of.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you're still like herding cats somewhere else on the compound.
I think
Yeah,
I'm there.
so-
I'm standing behind Splendor and what is it, Lissa?
Mm-hmm.
If they're together, I'm trying to like place myself behind Lissa because I want to try and.
Lissa's staying way the fuck away from you and Splendor.
Okay.
She doesn't want to. She's like, nope. Got to put this off as long as possible. She's like, I have stuff to do. I have important shit I got to go look at. I think that she makes a point of using Dice and the gang as an excuse to be like, nope, got to focus on that. And so she's very much like around that situation.
Well,
We'll
then
have a conversation later then.
Yeah.
So yeah, and like during the course of all the like chanting and everything else, it's gone from being dusk to being nighttime. And
Mhm.
so the glow from the well is like really pronounced now, and like all the water from the well glows at night. And so there's this like big bucket over top of Wynn's head that is like emanating this kind of like pink purple
Mhm.
kind of glow. And then from the well, it's like a mix of like that same pink purple and some green, and it's kind of like, you know, that thing where like when light passes through water, it gets the
Yeah, like sort of marbling effect. Yeah.
dilated and stuff. Yeah. So you can see it on like the interior walls of the well and stuff. And yeah, like at some point, we lead him under and just like pull this thing, and it's just this like really cold water, and it's like a lot of it, like a bathtub full, just.
So for the most part in the crowd, this is a cause for reverence. It's a reaffirming thing, like, you know, the water doing its work. But there's someone in the crowd. Let's say let's call them Kettle. So Kettle's really mad that this is happening. Kettle doesn't think that Wynn deserves this. What crawled up Kettle's butt? Why is Kettle so like anti-Wind? Do you do something to them, or do they just think you're getting a free ride?
I mean, I am getting a free ride.
Is
Yeah,
that what is that what they're pissed about? So they're pissed
Because
at
you're so
Tynan?
damn cool.
Yeah, they're not properly participating in our anarcho-Buddhist commune.
Okay. So they leave in the middle of this, like while it's happening, like everybody's like kind of standing calm, and like they just like storm out.
Oh, Adam, he's breaking the rules.
Mhm.
He's breaking the fucking rules.
Yep. Yeah, not
Um,
being very reverent towards the dead. It's true. Breaking rules all over the place. People lying, people not giving a shit.
So I'll get to him in a moment.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
First, we're dousing Wind. So I'm going to roll that move.
Okay.
Freaking nailed it.
Nice,
Wind
right?
is so doused.
So not only is his sickness or whatever healed,
Mhm.
but anyone lost is reassured as well.
All right.
Can I do I notice, does this change like how I perceive wind as
Yeah,
like
I want Dave to answer this. How is Wind different now, both internally and externally? After you've been bathed in the sacred waters, what's different?
So I think where before it's kind of difficult to tell with Wind, they're cool and they're like, and he stands out. There was, as I mentioned a bit at the beginning, something kind of off, and that's kind of where the sickness came from. And as Wind is cleansed by this water, I think it's as if they get more clear, like less, like more defined looking. You can finally kind of pinpoint Wind's age, and I think it probably strikes anybody who knew me before, I guess, Tynant specifically. I'm way younger than it would make sense for you have. Like, when you saw me before, I looked to be in my 30s. I am now, 22, 23. And
Yeah.
I just kind of have this smile on my face, and I just, feel really good, and I'm, looking at my hands.
Yeah,
almost
you're like more real, more like anchored in place than you were before.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that's evident to everyone, though whether they perceive it or not directly, that's something that they can all tell.
I think that Brace observes this and is confused by it, but wants to dissect you even more now. She's very she doesn't,
Wow, that's a
like
horrible
we said
word.
before, she doesn't really know why it is that she needs some part of you, but it's even more real to her now. And you said, what did you say about lost people being?
So when I lead a group in true ceremony, roll cool, and so it's like anyone who's participating in this, if they're sick, they are healed, and if they are lost, they are reassured.
I think that it kind of like persuades me even more that I want to stay here. Like both to like figure out what's up with Wind and also like that whole ceremony, whatever there was. I'm just like, I'm not leaving.
Just making my life difficult.
Yeah.
Making my life difficult.
Yeah, and I think with the reassurance as well, while it was kind of a curiosity and like an owing whatever to Tynant, Wind is also convinced that there is something here worth protecting, even if it's not the whole situation in the society. It's what Tynant is doing now, this particular ceremony and the water. I'm on board. This is good.
Yeah, and so like we'd had you like kneel on the grating, and so like Tynant pulls you to your feet, like, and they're strong enough, they just like lift you up, and like I give you this big hug, even though you're like sopping wet. I just like give you this big squeeze, and then I put you down. My face goes from being this big warm smile to a frown, and then I go follow Kettle. I'm gonna go fuck up his shit.
Okay.
Yeah, I follow your gaze out because I noticed as well, because this was my big moment. He's storming out like on the Battle Babe level. That is not okay. So I'm coming with you.
If Lissa is staying near to where the gang stuff is going on, or at least pretending to be dealing with that instead of like the ceremony, like how is that in relation to what I'm doing right now? Because I'm not there. Like I'm doing something else, presumably herding cats. You know, as is the way that it goes when you have a bunch of crazies.
So Tynan, who in your community is like responsible for job assignments? Because now you have all these people to do work. They must be very excited about giving them work to do. So who is that person?
I think people like bottom line different stuff. So like someone is, you know, like roundly responsible for.
I guess a better question is what needs to be done. What's a thing that could use 30 extra
so
bodies?
Like, if they're not very trustworthy or not very skilled, they can go redig the fire trench.
Mm-hmm.
It needs like constant work because the forest is always taking it back over. And like it's like trench, and then you need to clear everything another like 4 meters back from it. So they need to like clear brush or chop down trees or whatever. So that's a big job that requires like lots of manual labor and bodies.
This is a scene I want to do. Whoever's in charge of this, whoever's talking to me, presumably, about my people, I want to have that conversation. I really, really do.
Yeah.
I think like Lissa does a lot of the like directing of people.
Well, let's fill in some space, right? Let's throw down some more NPCs for me to use. So I've got one. So there's a person. Their name is Chalice, and Lissa and Chalice are approaching you, Dice. Chalice is coming to you with the impression that like these are the rules, you agreed to them. Let's just get you worked out. Let's get everybody jobs. So Lissa just wants to be somewhere that Brace isn't. So this is a good excuse.
If they're approaching me, like I am seated near my vehicle.
Yeah. So is there a gauntlet to run before they can get to you? Do you just like hold court? Do you have a bouncer? Is someone holding them back?
Well, exactly, right? Like basically there's this like circle of vehicles that have been sort of shepherded into this one area of the courtyard or the inside of the trench, right? As everybody sort of disseminated and went in and so forth, there's like what do you call it? A couple of guys who like have the keys to everybody's vehicle, you know, that are like moving everything into the right place. Like
so who in your gang considers themselves like your bodyguard?
My bodyguard?
Like what sucker thinks that they're like, no, I'm the muscle. You gotta go through me.
He's literally named Wall.
Wall, awesome.
He's literally named Wall. He's 6'7" and like 300 pounds.
Okay, cool.
This guy is massive, muscly, like kind of 350 maybe. You know, I don't know. I'm not good at weights, but he's big.
He's huge. He's a huge motherfucker.
And he's got basically like a pipe wrench, like a nasty looking huge wrench over one shoulder, and like a sawed off shotgun like hanging on a holster on belt.
So I guess then you walk into a conversation between Wall and these two people, Chalice and Lissa, and Wall's like, nope, back the fuck up, like. I don't care what you want. I don't care who you are. Like he's just playing bouncer, right? You've seen him do this over and over.
Like from where I'm sitting, I just do one of those like fingers in mouth whistles, to like get his attention,
Yeah,
And
yeah. And he's like a trained dog. He's ready for it. So
he turns around and I just just let him in. Just let him in. Come on.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a conversation.
Yeah, and so this isn't a demeaning thing for him. He's not being like undercut.
No.
He's just like, "Yep, I'm doing my job." So he nods to you, and even though there's no I guess there's like a ring of bikes, right, that you're in the middle of.
Basically, it's a wall of vehicles.
Yeah, and he's standing at the entrance to it.
Yeah.
So he steps kind of out of the way.
Does he just like lift a bike and move it?
Yeah, that's like the door. It's just like he just moves. He rolls this bike back, and yeah, Lissa. There's a moment where Lissa kind of like looks at Chalice, like she's like, okay, I guess this is happening, and then the two of them come into the circle.
And entering into this ring, it feels like an arena. Like it feels like there could be violence here at any moment. And there's like one guy over there like smoking some unknown substance. And there's two girls over there like playing bloody knuckles with each other. Like all this kind of stuff is going on.
Right.
Around the place.
They're super tough.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So so this person, Chalice, they approach, and they're wearing, I think, like sort of practical clothing, probably something like fairly like voluminous but easily like tied off at the elbows and the knees. But they've got a shawl or a cape or something on over top of it. To keep the like chill out. Do you have livestock here, Tynan? Are there like animals? You have sheep or something?
No, we're like vegans or some shit.
Well, I didn't mean the sheep are for eating. Just like for using their wool for
no, but
clothes.
yeah, like we don't. Well,
You trade for that
we're not
stuff?
vegans, but we have to hunt the animals. There's no more civilization got fucked, and along with it.
Domestication, yeah.
Sure. So her cloak then is like a deer skin like cape or something.
Or like a mountain goat hide or something.
Yeah, and it's like clipped together at the neck by like two pieces of antler or something that she's fashioned into like hooks. So she comes approaching. She doesn't appear to be armed. Lissa has this real nice this Lux rifle. And they walk up, and Chalice, they're smiling at you. They've got their hair probably pretty long, kind of going gray, but it's like piled up in a like crown kind of braid on top of their head. But they have the look of someone who spends most of their time outside. They're not like a supervisor in the managerial sense.
I look like king shit in this place. Like I've got my boots up, like crossed legs, sort of leaning back on my own like bike. It's sort of like a chair,
Right. When it's parked, it becomes a throne.
Yeah, I just look like queen shit up in here.
So Chalice approaches, and they what's and anyone can answer this. What's like a physical sign of like showing respect for a person that is done in the temple? Do people bow? Is there like a hand sign that we make? Like what's done here?
I think there's like a putting your hands together, like one of these, and you like bow a little. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. So this Chalice, they come up and they like place their hands in front of them and they bow to you, and they say there's work to be done.
Indeed. You want to talk to me about this work? Because I got my own idea of what we can do for you. I think you'll come around.
Chalice kind of like raises an eyebrow. I wanted to ask about and they look around and they're like trying to be polite. The skills of your people. Do you have engineers among you?
Oh, we got all kinds of people in here. But you see, we're especially good at hurting things or breaking stuff or stealing. I was told I have to speak the truth. And so here I am telling you what I do.
They nod and they say, there's some kind of like ritualistic phrase for like appreciating the truth of someone's statement. Like it's often said as I'm actually kind of mad or upset, but I'm saying this like, you know, to be polite and to acknowledge that this truth might be unpleasant to me, but thank you for saying it. Yeah, so something about like embracing your words or something. And they say, we have no such work here. There is hunting to be done, but our labor is a labor of the earth. There's tilling to be done in the fields, repair to be done on many of the homes.
That all sounds great, but here's what we're gonna do. I am now your head of security, along with my main man, Wall here.
Wall does that thing where he like closes one nostril and blows the other one into the dirt.
Smart rockets.
Yeah.
Oh God, gross.
I am now your head of security, along with my main man, Wall here. And all the rest of us, we're just gonna watch out for your well-being.
Okay.
I think that's work enough, don't you? Keeping you all safe, making sure no one gets hurt? I think so.
Yeah, Chalice doesn't seem convinced. Chalice, you can see the sort of uncertainty, and they're not really sure how to respond to you. So what's the process here, Tynant? Like, do people get to pick the work that they're done, or is it just like this is work that needs doing, someone needs to do it?
Yeah, there's kind of just like this is what needs to get done.
Okay. Yeah, Chalice has this, I guess there'd be like a list, basically.
Yeah, and like security is not on the fucking list.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
This is not a job, what just got described.
Yeah,
right?
so Chalice has a tablet. It's like a hardened, like a old, like a military iPad, basically. It's all scuffed and dinged up. And they power it from like probably a solar cell or like a bicycle or something. And they look at the tablet and then look back to you and shake their head and they say, I'm sorry, we have no need for that sort of work.
Well, you better find a need. And quickly. Because it'd be a shame what would happen if you didn't have any security. It'd be a real shame.
So what do you...
And at this point, I'm like getting up from my where I'm sitting, and you can see everybody around who's just like doing whatever is like reaching for like various things or implements of violence. And once I'm standing, I repeat, real shame.
So there's someone in your gang who jumps the gun here, who escalates the situation unnecessarily. Who are they?
Oh, we're talking about the guy who always acts first.
Yeah, just like someone who takes the hint a little too hard.
Is it shithead?
No, he's literally called Mads.
Okay, all right,
M-A-D-Z.
nice, good, very cool name for a cool dude.
He's super cool.
Cool.
Okay, so once you start, the tension starts to rise a little bit. Yeah, Mads appears almost like out of nowhere and grabs Chalice, and yanks them over to him and gets the knife like, up to
Okay.
their throat.
As this is happening, I walk over in front of her, like with him sort of like doing this, and I'm standing in front of her, and I go, "Let me show you why you need security." And I take my pistol out of my jacket and I shoot Mads in the face.
Okay. So you're using one of second edition's new and exciting moves called the sucker someone. So when you attack someone unsuspecting or helpless, ask the MC if you could miss.
I don't want to miss. I literally want to shoot him in the face.
You asked me if you could, if it's possible that you could.
Could I miss?
If you could, we treat it as going aggro, but the victim has no choice but to cave and do what you want. No, I don't think you
If
could.
she could miss, I don't think she would miss him if he was gone.
I really don't care.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah. I don't.
He's been pissing me off for like weeks.
Yeah.
For like 5 minutes. He needs to die.
All right. Yeah. No, I don't think you can miss. You just how much harm do you inflict?
As much as possible.
Well, how much harm
wanted,
does your weapon do?
3.
3 harm.
But I'm shooting him directly in the face.
Oh yeah, no, I'm aware. I just wanted to talk about what harm does to NPCs.
It's loud, close, and is it messy? I think it might be. Hang on.
So when an NPC takes harm, 3 harm is give it 50-50, it's immediately fatal. Otherwise, terrible wounds, shock, death soon.
It's close, reload, and loud.
Okay. All right. So yeah,
harm.
you've just deafened Chalice, possibly forever. But you just draw the gun and spray of blood. I think it kills Mads instantly. I'll just scratch them off my list. And yeah, Chalice is just like looking at you. Lissa has like got the gun in hand, but then realizes that this isn't going to be that kind of thing. And yeah, Chalice is just standing there, like holding their ears, like just in shock. Both of them are totally in shock. The gang responds, I think, by the closest people like grabbing Mads' body and immediately starting to strip it of stuff.
Yeah, like I want his boots. I want his.
Yeah. So they just fall on him and start taking apart his shit. What's the follow up? You've proven your point.
So I shoot him in the face, and as his body drops, I reach forward and like try and do like one of those like grab the scruff of the loose robe or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
That like so from his grip into mine almost immediately.
Yeah. They tumble forward and you grab them.
And I go, a shame if you didn't have security. And then I let go.
So what do you want?
Like, push her.
What do you want them to do? What do you want Chalice to do right now?
I want her to write down on that damn list 30 people, security.
Okay.
So I'm basically taking a job and playing by the 29 people, but
It's okay. Someone will join now.
taking a job and playing by the rules.
You want
this place.
You want them to change the rules.
I have told the truth. I am taking a job, but that's what I want.
Okay. Yeah. I love that you're lawyering your way into following the rules by being like, just go change the rules, stupid.
Write security and put my men on it.
Okay. So again, Tynan, who gets to decide that? Like, where would Chalice go? Would Chalice come to you, or would Chalice like work this out themselves?
I think kind of like de facto Chalice would come to me.
Okay.
It's not like that's one of the like, unwritten rules of the place.
Okay. I feel like there's a move here. It's funny because I feel like it's sort of like you're going aggro, but I don't think you actually want to like hurt Chalice in this moment.
I'm basically trying to convince her, but like through intimidation rather than through like any kind of like
right. So it sounds like manipulation, right? Because you're manipulating Chalice into doing what you want. The reason to do this is that if they don't, that the security threat will become present, and things will get worse. So yeah, go ahead and roll to manipulate.
Okay.
And we'll see. They're gonna do what you say, but we'll see how.
What do I roll for?
It's hot.
It's hot.
It's hot? Okay. Pew.
Ooh, interesting. Okay. All right. So in this case, on a miss, be prepared for the worst. But on the surface, they agree. They're like, of course. I will. And they attempt to exit the situation as quickly as possible.
I let him go.
Okay. Yeah. The two of them definitely.
They say, of course, and fuck off. That's what I want.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Let me make a note.
This is sort of like, let me roll real quick.
Yeah.
Let me make a note. Scary MC thing.
I really, really, really wanted the opportunity to shoot a gang member of my own as like a show, so that was
No
fun.
shortage of those.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the ramifications of that. So, do you do this a lot?
Do I execute people a lot? No.
No.
Um,
Okay.
according to like my regular rules, like everybody in the gang, or at least the people close enough to me to have a conversation, know that Mads has been pissing me off for, like I said, like weeks.
Okay, so the gang, I think the gang takes your killing of anyone, this sudden violent act, as a sign that it's time to tear this place apart. You can hear bikes revving. Some guy is like got a chainsaw that he's like getting ready to, and they're gearing up to like go and cause trouble because they're like, cool. Let's go. Let's do the thing. They weren't paying attention to the details. They just heard the gunshot. There's blood. They smelled it. They're getting riled up. So
I'm gonna try and control the pack, so to speak.
okay, what do you do?
I'd be like, sit tight. We'll move soon enough.
Okay, so you're just like yanking on the
I'm
leash.
just yeah, I basically just going like, chill out, motherfuckers.
Okay, all right. Roll pack alpha. Let's see if
Okay.
you're hard enough to make it work.
Let's see if I'm hard enough. Where's my pack alpha? There it is. Pew.
Okay, all right. Choose one on a 7 to 9.
They do what they're told.
Okay, so they
Who
will.
else?
Yeah, you get the thing, but you have to make another example out of somebody, and they're gonna fight back against the idea. So. Yeah, I think you do that, and they respond with immediate disappointment, and as savages, their disappointment quickly turns into fury, and one of them, let's say Baby,
Yeah.
yeah, Baby gets all up in your face, and she's like comes up to you, and maybe her and Mads had something going on, so she's like a little pissed about that, but. Yeah, poor Baby. But she gets all up in your face, and she's like, I thought we were hard. I thought we were gonna like go somewhere. Like, you remember that last place? That was blood and fury, and that was great. And this is some shit. Like, we're just sitting around. We've been here a whole like 2 hours, and I got
in the
nothing.
middle of her like talk. I'm just gonna whack like backhand like across her face like as hard as I can.
Okay. I mean, I think in this case, like there's a chance that this could turn into a fight and not.
Sure.
Yeah, and not just you're seizing control of the gang by force, basically.
Yep. Seized by force.
Yeah. So
With
please.
your mitts.
Yeah, with your mitts. So seize.
So that's hard, I guess.
That is hard. Yeah.
Pew.
Oh dear.
Oh shit.
Oh dear. All right. So you backhand her, you knock her into the dirt, and she looks up at you, and this, in the moment, the simplicity of the situation goes away, right? Like, this should have just been over now,
Yeah.
and you're still gonna get what you want.
Oh, she
But
gets mad.
two other members of the gang pick her up, and they leave. They walk off, and like 3 or 4 other gang members go with them, and they get you get that like over the shoulder like, oh shit, you did not just do that. So there's about a half dozen of them that just like kind of go away. They just leave. So let's when that happens, let's cut to some other place. After the ceremony, Brace, where do you go? I want to see Brace. I want to see you like away from kind of all of the chaos. Like, where do you go? What are you doing once all this stuff starts happening? Because you're at the center of all this trouble.
Yeah, I am. I think I want to open my brain to the world's psychic maelstrom and kind of like get weird guidance from my weirdness.
From your weirdness.
Yeah, I feel like Brace is like, she was kind of like, I'm just doing this because it entertains me. And also she was like unaware of how hardcore Dice was going to like follow up on like coming and getting her. And at first she was just like, whatever, like it's conflict. I don't really care. Like whichever side wins, I'll just go with them. But when that whole ceremony happened, she was like, no, I want to stay here. I don't want to go anywhere. Like, and I don't want this place where I just get to sit on my ass and have fun and intimidate people. And like, I don't want that to go away. Not so much that she wants to, I don't think she consciously wants to like protect or maintain anything. Like it's not like a positive thing. It's just like unconsciously she now, instead of like just wanting to rile people up, she kind of wants to like she wants this side to be the side that has success or whatever. And so she's kind of looking for what is it? She's kind of looking for a readout on the situation, and also like she wants an ally. I feel like
So when you're in a position of uncertainty like that, you turn to what does opening your brain to the maelstrom look like? Do you just like go back to your house and do a bunch of drugs? Do you like meditate? Do you drink the special water? Like what connects you to the greater?
I mean, I feel like here in this specific place, it might be different than somewhere else. And because of what just happened, I feel like because she wants to stay here, like she would probably drink the water.
Okay, well,
Maybe not like even ask, just like she's just gonna do it.
I mean, I think like Tynant is the person that you would need to go through to make that happen.
You can't just like take some of the well water, like
I don't imagine you could just go and like scoop it up with
Probably.
your hands. Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you go to Tynant to like ask, or Tynant, do you find Brace like trying to get at the special water? Like what is that? I want the two of you in the scene. I want to know what that how we open it. What does it look like?
Yeah, like maybe I come back from having given Kettle a piece of my mind, and like I come back to the well, and like people have kind of dispersed, and there's Brace like pulling the bucket up.
and like I don't know, I feel like I'm a little off center in like the like people who lost now have whatever. I don't remember the wording. But I notice you're there, and I look back at you, and I look at the water, and I like hold it in my hand, but I'm not drinking it yet. I'm like waiting for you to give me permission, I suppose, but I don't say anything.
Yeah, I like walk closer and just say, "You need only ask, and it will be given freely."
And she's like stubborn, and she looks like at the bucket, and she looks at Tynant. This is me asking, is all she says.
It would make me very happy for you to take some.
Does that make you suspicious, Brace?
I mean, yes and no, because I would have done it anyway, and I feel like I've seen him over and over and over like heal people, and I don't think that it's malicious, and I don't think the water is malicious, and so I'm getting what I want anyway. And if I gain some sort of trust with Tynant because of the whole situation, or at least less distrust, then I'm fine with that.
So Tynant, do you care why Brace suddenly wants to like take a big drink out of the special water?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I know that I know that people will come around eventually. This is always how it goes. People come here, they've got like troubles, they're all apocalypsy, and they're like acting like, abused animals, and then by the, a couple years in, they're human again. It's just a matter of like
Right.
gently accepting them.
I care. I'm very interested.
Yeah. Okay. Are you present for this, Win?
Yeah, I was there with Tynant when he was laying down the law with
So you
Kettle.
followed them back in.
I love the
sorry.
idea, and I'm gonna ask you later, Tynan, like what happened to Kettle. But I love the idea of like you go away and we just skip it, and then later we'll find like Kettle and what the restitution was.
So you're here, Wind, and like you're like, do you have anything to say? Or are you just gonna watch it, or?
I'm gonna read a person. I'm gonna read you. My
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, because you're just like watching from the periphery.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound like Brace is really like actively trying to be harder to read. Cool. Yeah, go ahead and read
if
a
you'd
person.
like to interfere, you can do so, but I will roll the thing first. Do. Wow.
Okay.
I can
So you would ask a question.
Yes, I'm going to ask you a question. What does your character intend to do?
I think my character's intent. I have a good situation here, and where like I could have a good situation anywhere. The situation with Dice is one where she is very aggressive and her group is very aggressive, and like they tend to like manipulate and control things, and I don't see myself in control there. But here I kind of like I like it here better, and so I feel like I'm more in control and the people are more like vulnerable to my like manipulations, I guess. And so I would rather be here. So I just like, yeah, that's my intent, is to stay here and not go with Dice.
You don't want to hang out with the real crazies. You
Yeah,
want to hang out with the commune crazies.
Yeah.
The
So
benign crazies.
my intent is to find a way to stay here. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I think after watching you for a bit, Wind speaks up and he says, it was Brace, was it?
And I just look at you.
And then I'm just like, yes, this is Brace. Brace, Wind, an old friend. Not so old, I suppose.
I say, well, it's good to meet you, Brace. And I put out a hand. Because
And I reach the hand with my gloved hand, and I'm definitely going to puppet string you.
I like how. So is this intentional, or does this just happen whenever Brace just like touches anybody? Like,
I mean, I have two hands. I can choose.
it's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I chose to reach out with my hand that has the glove on it.
Excellent. Okay.
All right, so let's see how this goes, I suppose.
Oh damn! It's just the strings. Okay. All right. So you make a note on your character sheet where you hold 3,
Okay.
and you can plant a command inside Wind's mind.
Holds 3 to Wind. Okay,
Yep.
so I mean, for right now, I'm not inflicting harm, but I'm.
Oh yeah, no. So you plant the command, and then you just hang on to that hold forever. And then as long as the command is in there, you could just be like, yeah, Dice takes Wind takes harm.
Oh, okay. So I'm basically like, you're gonna help me. When I think that I know that Tynant doesn't trust me, and I know that they're not gonna like fight to keep me here.
Mm-hmm.
And I also know that Tynant and Wind have like a relationship of sorts. And so I'm like, you're gonna help me. You're gonna help me convince Tynant that I belong here. Not just to like let me stay here.
Okay, so that's the thing, right? Because we need to know the command if it's fulfilled. So if Wind can convince Tynan to like embrace you and push back against Dice, that'll resolve the command. And at any time between now and then, if you're like, do what I say, and Wind is like, no, you can be like, take 1 harm, sucker.
Okay.
Or take -1 on an important roll.
Okay.
And that can be a thing. And you can spend it after they roll too. So you can be like, oh, you succeeded at that thing? No, you get distracted by my puppet strings. Now you fail.
Okay, so yeah, that's my thing is like, I want you to convince Tynant through whatever weird relationship you have that I belong here.
Okay.
Oh, have we, like, did you kind of whisper that to me then? Because Tynant's like standing
It's
right
a psychic like manipulation. Like basically it's like I touch your hand, time freezes for just a second, and like just like a second. And then all of a sudden you have this thought in your brain, like, I need to do this thing.
This would be where we would get the, like, if this was like a Telltale game or something, we get the stylized cutscene of like everything is black and Wind is standing there, and you just lean in and you're like actually tell him the command, and then we like cut back. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Cool.
And so to like bring us back from that reverie, there's Tynant speaking again, and just saying like, Wind had the courage to be vulnerable and open. to, and in doing so, came into the community. And that's what I want for you, Brace. If you would just open up with us, or at least with me. You can trust me. I know that you're very troubled and you have devils in your foot, but
Vulnerable and open are not words that Brace would ever use to describe herself, ever.
One of her devils is literally in your courtyard.
yeah. And I'm like, and then you are welcome to this water and the rest of our community. And so I'm fucking manipulating you.
Yeah, right. Okay. So you know a thing that Brace wants, right?
Yeah.
And
so what are you doing here? What's the thing you
so
want?
my leverage is like, oh, you want to drink the water? You want the Kool-Aid and like the community in general?
I really love your like what a manipulative piece of shit you are, because you're like, all you have to do is ask. And also this other thing I want. You're not asking correctly.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like holding that out as like a carrot, right? Like you can have all this stuff, but you have to like not be a shithead.
So
When have I ever been a shithead?
Yeah, totally. Let me take a quick look at the move, just to make sure we're all on the same
But
page.
I think I need to be pretty clear about what I want.
Yeah. So you tell her what you want her to do and give her a reason to do it. So what you want is what would it look like if this actually if this happened, if you got what you wanted?
Yeah, so it would be for her to be like honest and upfront about what what her deal is, basically, because she just like showed up and she never explained. She wasn't like, Dice is gonna follow me and try to kill me, right? Like,
right.
There's all this shit and I'm just like, you are not being upfront with us. And so I want her to like come clean. And if she does, then like what is it here? So I say what I want and then give her a reason. So the reason would be, and then it's totally cool. You're like one of us. We'll like look after you, give you the water, we'll hook you up.
Okay.
Can I assist on this? I have a vested interest.
You can't, even if you helped, it wouldn't help.
Help now gives +2 on a.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you could. Also, though, to the same degree, you can interfere with being manipulated.
I mean, if he's gonna try and help, I'm gonna try and interfere. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's get both of you to roll that.
So what would that be plus?
So you're both interfering or
Hex?
helping Tynan. So it's your hex. It's 2d6 plus your hex with.
2d6 plus the hex. Okay.
Okay. So 5 goes up to
get
6.
+1.
Yeah. So now it's at a 4. So it goes down. Perfect. I was so hoping I could make a move here. So
Me and Tynan have +3 because he doesn't trust me.
there's a moment where you're offering the water in exchange for like being straight up. How do you interfere, Wind? Like how are you making this harder for or how do you help and how do you interfere? I think the interference is pretty easy because Brace just shuts down, right? But how are you helping?
I mean, I think that my interference would be like I'm gonna -1 harm Wind for I feel like he's not helping me in trying to make me.
I like that you retaliate. Okay, so Wind, you try to help. How? Like, what do you say or do?
My command is to make it so that she's being protected
The
by
great thing
him.
is she can harm you whenever she wants, so it doesn't matter if you're doing it or not.
All I say is, I'm just like, yeah. I mean, it seems pretty alright here.
Like being truthful would help you.
And she's just like,
Shut up.
you're an ass. Shut up.
That's pretty good.
That's not helping.
So before I make my move, and in addition to it, let's talk about what does that look like? What is the Is this because again, it's you inflict 1 harm, armor piercing on the subject.
Is that one of my holds?
Yes, yeah. You still have 2. So you take Wind. You take a harm. Brace. What does it look like when you bear your will on like another person, when you pull hard on the string.
So what happened was Tynant was like, just be open and honest with us and we'll like accept you. And Wynn was like, yeah, that sounds about right. And I like, obviously, like I want to like manipulate people and be in a situation where I can like do what I want to people basically. And I feel like this is that place, you know? And so being open and honest about that would not get me acceptance in my mind, whether Tynant thinks it would or not, you know?
Yeah, it's like you are gaslighting yourself, basically.
Yeah. And
I love that Brace is so desperate to like belong, but in a very specific way that Brace gets to decide. Like, I want to be a part of a community where everyone does what I say and I don't have to do anything hard.
Yeah. So
I remember what it was like to be 16.
and so I look over to Wind when he's like, yeah, just be open and honest. Like, this seems like in my mind you're trying to like help me be accepted, right? You're trying to do what I told you to do, but not in the way that I want you to. And so like you feel where I touched you, like all the way up to like a pinpoint, like right here. It just like hurts, like a
ice pick
1
in your brain
second
headache.
migraine. Like,
Okay. So I'm going to have you make a move here, Wind. You're going to make the harm move. So when you take harm, you're going to roll plus the amount of harm that you got, and you want to. That's
You want to fail.
That's still a thing, right? The harm move.
Yeah, you want to roll low.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and you want to fail. So roll +1.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are my choices on the? Let me see if I can find it here.
I think you got
Page.
yeah.
Lose your footing, lose your grip, lose track of something.
Yeah, I got it. Perfect. Okay.
where is it?
It's in the peripheral moves.
Yeah, it's in
section,
the peripheral moves.
page 28.
Let's see. So you lose your footing, you lose your grip on whatever you're holding, you lose track of something or someone or something you're attending to, you miss noticing something important. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that you're going to be the last person to react to the next thing that happens. You're distracted, you're stunned, something gets away from you. I'm going to make this move, and then we'll go to a break. So I think what happens, there's this tense moment when you're cut off halfway through a sentence with this like sudden migraine, your vision goes blurry, you grab your head, and we hear a scream outside. Brace, you recognize it. You've heard a permutation of this scream before. It's totally your pretend girlfriend. It's Splendor, and it's a scream of pain and fear. And we cut to you outside, and Baby has a machete like dug like into Splendour's clavicle. Splendor's on the ground. The machete's like in Splendor's like armor, and like in her chest there's blood everywhere. And Baby's trying to wrench it out so she can swing it again. And the other gangers that went with Baby are creating a perimeter with our guns so no one will approach. And let's take a break there, and y'all can think about how you want to react to this.
My fake girlfriend.
Your psychically manipulated girlfriend. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes when we get back. Stick around, everybody. We got some more Apocalypse World coming at you when we return.